Hey, what's going on everybody? Michael here. Welcome back to another episode of Technoid. Today's episode, we are going to take a look at a new accessory that has made its way to the studio. This one is actually one of the more, I would say, day-to-day use accessories that I've used for a lot of my tech gear. And this one is now a new staple. And I want to give a huge shout out to Kuksu. I hope I'm saying it right. Again, I really am bad with butchering names. I want to thank them in advance for being a part of today's episode. They were kind enough to send me this brand new stand made for the iPad Pro. It has the smart connector on the back and acts as a magnetic stand and a charger at the same time. I will talk about it, how I've been using it, how it works in my day-to-day, and if I recommend it or not. Now, with that being said, even though they gave this to me for review, they do not have a say or have any affiliation on my review. This is solely made for the purposes of the general consumer, and everything that they're hearing and everything that you guys are seeing, they're seeing it the same time that you are. So now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the stand. So for starters, this charging stand is a 2-in-1. It acts as a magnetic stand where you can place your iPad Pro on and also allows you to charge the iPad Pro on the magnetic stand. Now, of course, my iPad's not on here, but we will show that in just a second. But taking a look at the actual device itself, I'm gonna unplug it for just a moment. Taking a look at it, it is made of metal. It has a nice aluminum chassis, which I think feels very premium, very flush. On the surface right here is a nice matte texture that helps to protect your iPad from scuffs anytime you want to put it on. Inside, there are strong magnets built inside that helps to keep this connected stable and rooted. I don't know what's going on with my vocabulary lately. On the side right here is the smart connector. These are the little 3 pins that are on the side of the iPad Pro. These same connector pins can be used to connect up the Magic Keyboard and other accessories that uses the smart connector. But for this purposes, this will provide the power to the iPad Pro. Taking a look at the back, it does have a metal hinge at the back right here. It can tilt up and down just like this. There is a little bit of force that needs to go into it, so the hinge does require a little bit of it. And the back is the connector's USB-C. This is what gives power to the smart connector. The base itself does have a nice grippy feel. It has grips on the bottom. It can move in different angles. You can move it up and down. You can twist it. You can move it just like this. I typically like to leave it in landscape mode as I use it as a monitor. You can also turn it horizontally. So if you want it to be faced sideways, you can also do it just like this, and it'll work just as fine. In the back of it, again, is the bottom hinge, and then at the bottom is where you'll find your legal guff and also the little matte finish at the bottom. So overall, when it comes to the build quality and the quality itself of the product, this is a phenomenal build and actually is one that I highly think is a great standout and does feel Apple-like. So this is very good right off the bat. So now we get to the actual performance of the smart connector. Now, in order to do this, first thing you have to do is you have to plug in the smart connector. Now, because I turned it sideways, I'm gonna have to turn it around. We're gonna plug it in. It does use USB-C to power it up. Once we do that, we can turn it sideways. Now, the turning of it does affect the cable's bendingness, but if the cable is bend tested, you should be fine. But just be very careful with what cable you put in and if it's compatible. You could run the cable at the bottom here. And then from there, all you have to do is just take your iPad Pro, line it up nicely. You can also take your Apple Pencil off so it lines up. You line it up where the camera is on the side, and then right there, you'll hear the snap connector go on, and then it stays on nice and magnetic. Now again, I do like to use it in landscape mode, so I will turn this around, and this is what it looks like in landscape mode. It does do a very, very nice job. I have a nice USB-C hub. As you can see, it starts to charge. That is my first negative that I have noticed with this accessory, is that the USB-C connector for the smart connector does take time before it finally registers that it's ready to charge. There are times that I put it on and it takes over 30 minutes before it finally turns on the smart connector and charges. It is by no means a fast charger, so I'm not going to complain about that. But with that being said, the smart connector does work, it does do its job, and what I like to do is, because of my monitor setup, I like to put my iPad Pro right here in the corner. I'll straighten it out, make it upright more, fix it up, make it look a lot more spiffy, and then I have it facing me with my desk. I also like to rearrange from time to time, so sometimes I'm moving it over here in a different angle, but for the purposes, I'll put it over here for the video. it does a really good job. It is a very nice fundamental type of thing, especially if you're working on a computer desk, and with iPadOS and macOS software allowing you to use it as an external display to control your iPad, that has been the best feature so far and has been a feature that I've been using on a daily. Now, there is definitely some room for growth because even though this does a great job and has a lot of potential, I would have liked for a little more. Now, what I mean by that is simple. Even though the smart connector only provides power, you can still use the USB-C dock that's on the side of your iPad Pro if you want to use it to transfer data, or if you do want to plug it in for a faster charge, you can still do that. But I would have liked the stand to have featured maybe similar to like the smart connector or the Magic Keyboard to prevent the cable. Maybe put it at the base right here where the little circles are, similar to Apple's Magic Keyboard for the iPad Pro. Another thing that I would have liked to have seen is maybe some external docks, maybe an SD card reader or different multiple ports to create multiple ports, powering the smart connector, powering the ports. But again, of course, I do know that there's a lot of other things that need to go into it. And then real quickly, just want to show you that you can still use your Apple Pencil at the top. I would have liked to have seen it do a little more in terms of versatility, because even though I do appreciate that it charges and does a really good job at charging, I would have liked a little more versatility with it, but I'm not gonna complain because honestly, I feel like they have time to improve, so I definitely think that if they make a newer version, they can probably do that. But those are just some of the things that I've noticed. And then again, like I said, on a day-to-day use, it is absolutely my must-have to use, especially if I'm using my Mac and my iPad back-to-back. So with that being said, do I recommend this product? Well, listen, I recommend this to anyone that needs an iPad stand. I definitely think that this is a must-have if you are an iPad Pro user. It has a smart connector. It acts like a laptop. You can still connect up a keyboard and a mouse to it, and it will give you a desktop-like experience, although I really think that the terminology is getting a little outplayed with iPadOS. But I would have liked a little more from it. I would have liked maybe a little bit of a smart hub here, maybe some more ports, maybe some more things to do. But again, with time and development, I think that they could definitely master this. But I will say, they have a very phenomenal product on their hands, and they also have models available for the iPad Air and the standard iPad. So I definitely think you should check it out, give them a shot. If you want to see their product, check out the link. It will be in the description. Again, guys, this is my review on the iPad Pro magnetic stand from Kuksu. I hope I'm saying it right. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you had a great time. If you did, hit the like button. If you disliked the video, you can hit the dislike button. That helps circulate my videos as well. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all on the next episode. Have a good day and peace!